All right, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Coach Traylor's on now, so if you'll use your raised hand function, we'll start taking questions. Okay, Greg, you're up first.
Jeff, how you doing today?
Good, Greg. How are you guys?
Good, good. To start off, I want to ask about Frank Harris. What did you guys learn about his injury, and what's the outlook for him going forward?
Best news possible, knee sprain, game time decision.
When you mention a game time decision, how does that impact your planning through the week? Obviously, the offense is a little different with your two options. How do you plan around both possibilities?
Just like that, we're going to plan around both possibilities. They both have things they do well, and we'll do what those guys can do. And if Frank's 100%, he'll go Saturday, and if he's not, then Josh will go.
How did the quarterback reps usually get split in practice, and do you have a plan for how you'd like to see that go this week?
Yeah, we always have a guy that goes to the ones, a guy that goes to the twos, and we'll always have a low zone package as well. So obviously that's how we'll split them up again this week.
Okay, Chris, you're next.
Yeah, what's the general mood around the team being 3-0?
Kids are excited. We've got a long ways to go. There's a lot of stuff out there we didn't do well, but winning is the best deodorant ever created. It can cover up a lot of stuff that we stink at, and kids are excited about being there. And that's how you get better, is by practicing. And we've got some stuff we got to fix. Obviously, we didn't run the ball very well. Our defense was out there way too long, and we've got to get that fixed.
And early impressions of UAB?
Woo! You can see why they won a lot of ball games. They're very well coached. Bill does a fantastic job. They've got really good players, and they execute. And you can tell they've been winning for a long time. You can just tell by whether kids play, they're used to winning.
Okay, JJ.
Hey, Jeff, what were some of your takeaways? How did you guys think you did offensively this week?
We had 6 3-and-outs. That's very disheartening. 2 of them in critical situations in the fourth quarter. We just couldn't run the football. And it was the perfect storm. On some of those RPOs, we had the play blocked exactly right, and the read said throw it, so we threw it. If we'd have handed it, Sincere would have had real yards. Some of it was just them whooping our tails, and some of it was just missed assignments. But we've got to get that better. Our defense is on the field, too long. But our kids did score 37 points, and I know being an offensive guy, you never feel like you do enough, no matter what it is. It's just part of the game.
We saw you guys shuffle around the offensive line a little bit with the return of Kevin Davis. What was just some of the logic with that?
Kevin's a really good player, and he's a veteran. He's played a long time, and it's the best way to motivate young men. I've told this story before. When I was a head basketball coach, I was listening to Bobby Knight speak at one time, and I asked him, what was it that made his kids play so hard? And he made the comment that, Bob. And I said, what is Bob? And he said, butt on bench. It's the only thing that really motivates young men. And we're just trying to get some kids' attention and move them around, let them know that they don't play well, the next guy up will get a chance.
Okay, Greg, back to you.
Jeff, along those lines, is that the benefit of switching Spencer Burford from one side to the other, moving him to left tackle? Does it send a message, or is there a difference from one position to the other for him?
I just felt like he looked more comfortable at left tackle. I think it's more of his natural position. So we're just trying to do what's best for Spencer. You know, he didn't play real well the game at right tackle, and you know, he just wasn't himself, in my opinion. He never complained. He's a great kid. Another kid that came from a great program, you know, locally here in San Antonio. And we were just trying to do what's best for Spencer.
Okay, Evan.
I know you gave your impressions of Josh Atkins after the game, but after watching the film, just was it similar to what you thought leaving the field there on Friday?
Yeah, he missed a couple of throws he wish he could have back. But, man, there are not very many guys in the country that could just come out there and run a 2-minute drill like he did with one timeout, 40 seconds. Very first play when we turned the wheel linebacker loose, they ran a nice little stunt right into his face, and he never flinched. He stood right in there and threw a bullet right on the sideline. And his leadership skills, he's been there. You know, he's a super kid. Him and Frank both, I can't say enough great things about those two people. And I know if you guys are around them, so y'all get to know that they really are what I say they are. Some people might believe it's just coach talk, but, you know, everybody on this screen has dealt with both those kids, and you know what fantastic humans they both are.
And then also, just is there anything that you can do as a coach to try and jumpstart these kids in the second half, or is this just part of the times that the offseason didn't really give anybody in this country much benefit, and it's just going to take a little more time to get them conditioned to come out of halftime full sprints ahead?
It's a great question. You know, I think the score right before halftime changed the momentum a little bit. Now, we went right back down and answered. We did a great job of using our timeouts and saving us a little bit of time to go back down the field. So we answered back there, but then they came out. And, you know, our nose guard getting across his face on the long run, you know, him being injured, that hurt us in the game. But once we got him to the sideline and got him taken care of, and the next man stepped up, I'm not quite sure what that is, Evan. We talk about the middle eight quite a bit. The middle eight meaning the last 4 minutes of the second quarter and the first 4 minutes of the third quarter. At moments, we've been really good in those times, but you know, they scored 3 straight drives right there, Evan. We're out before halftime and then 2 to start the third quarter. I attribute that to our lack of running game. I thought our defense was winded and tired, and their play count was high. And I think that's hurt us, Evan, as far as just our conditioning, just trying to play our way into shape. We're not quite there yet.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Chris, back to you.
Yeah, Middle Tennessee was able to move the ball quite a bit through 3 games. How do you feel about the defense just kind of overall?
You know, they play very hard. You can tell they really want to please Coach Nix, and I'm thrilled with their effort. We've got to get better at playing the deep ball. It's the first team that's been able to run the ball on us. That surprised us. We really felt good about our interior. Our D-line did not play as good as they usually do. Very, very disappointed in their effort. I expect them to play better. But we've got to get better at playing the deep ball as well. You know, we had another situation where we had 2 guys on a receiver, and he went up and made the play, and we didn't. So we got some stuff to clean up, Chris, like on all of us do. But that's pretty much would be my summary of our defense so far.
JJ?
Jeff, at the end of the game, you guys had the ball with a little bit over 6 minutes to go, and you had a real quick 3 and out to give Middle Tennessee the ball back. Do you think sometimes maybe the offense tries to go too fast, or what happened in that situation?
No, we ran counter, and their defensive end spilled it. We didn't do a very good job kicking it. Now it's 2nd and 10, and what play you want to run on 2nd and 10? I mean, there's not a lot of good ones. You got to throw it. And, you know, we didn't – all week we really challenged our guys to be extraordinary at the ordinary. And on a positive note, you guys are awful critical of a 3-0 team, by the way. But on a positive note, we had 0 penalties on offense. I mean, I've coached 31 years. I've never coached a team that had 0 penalties. We had 11 the first game, 7 the second game, and 3 in the third game as a whole team. So we were really proud of our kids, how they cleaned up. We call it DBO, don't beat ourselves. And, we had the 1 turnover. It was a nice play call. We just didn't get the throw we wanted. Sticks has dropped that ball in there all week just perfectly, and he just didn't get enough on it. So, but yeah, we don't go fast in those 4-minute situations, JJ. We have different tempos we play to. We don't always go turbo. We also have a milk it. We have a 4-minute. So we've got the different tempos. We just didn't execute very well, honestly. And we're looking at it too. I mean, 6 3-and-outs is tough, and 2 of them in the fourth quarter was really tough.
Hey, Greg.
Jeff, we saw Tariq Woolen playing with the cast on his arm. What was your impression of how he played despite that?
Yeah, we almost didn't let him play. He didn't run real well in practice, carrying that big thing around, and we didn't know how he was going to catch a ball or tackle it. So it was really – we weren't sure we were going to let him play. But how about the interception was phenomenal in itself. And then how about when the running back got loose and he ran him down, he tried to grab him with his club, and then he realized he couldn't. And then he switched hands and got him with the other hand and pulled him down. We had more plays by guys with casts on than I've ever seen in my life. Peter Gray had probably the play of the game that hadn't been talked about much is the game-winning block on the field goal, the extra point. That totally changed the whole game. Then they had to start going for 2. So, yeah, we've got more casts out there than most hospitals do. But they all showed up Friday night.
Is Tariq going to have to wear that for a while?
I hope not. It's just a small fracture. It just depends on how that thing heals. We don't have an open week. Who knows if you got an open week? On the schedule, we don't have an open week, but there might be a few open weeks. You never know. We're not really for sure, Greg. It's a hairline fracture. It just depends on how that thing heals.
Is Sincere McCormick a little banged up too? It seemed like he had a wrap on his knee.
He's just, typical running back stuff. I mean, he's had a lot of carries, a lot of reps. And I know each week I keep saying we're going to try to lessen the load on him. And we've yet to do that very well. But our drives were so short Friday night. He never really got winded. So he played a lot of reps. But, we had a 2-play touchdown, a 4-play touchdown, 6 3-and-outs. But a lot of that's the way the defenses are playing us now. They know we're really good at running the football. So you got cover 4, safeties are down low. Even when we block the box right, the safeties are there at 2 yards on Sincere right now. So it'll be interesting to see if Josh is our quarterback Saturday, how they play us versus if Frank's our quarterback. It'll be interesting to see how the defenses play us now.
And with the amount of casts and bumps and bruises that you've mentioned, do you have to adjust practice at all for that, or how do you work around the injuries that are piling up?
No doubt. You got to use your common sense. And, that's the hard part about this, being a new staff. And we're behind to begin with, Greg. So it's just tough. It is. And I'm not complaining. You asked the question, but you're right. We've got to be very smart. We went helmets only last night. But how good can you get at football in pajamas? I mean, it's tough. But what good does it do to get them all banged up and they can't play Saturday? So it's a fine line we're walking right now. But I'd rather be walking that fine line beat up and frustrated at 3-0 than I would beat up, frustrated at 0-3.
Evan?
Yeah, Coach, I also was sort of noticing a negative tailspin in the questionings, me being a part of that with the first half and second half. And I wanted to ask because, first week, here we are, don't eat the cheese and we're riding high. And now it does seem like, okay, you guys are 3-0 and what's next? What are you guys going to prove next? Do you feel that? And do you relish in that? Is that good? Is that like a sign of, hey, we want to push those expectations?
Yeah, we really don't get into it much, Evan. I know y'all get tired of hearing my culture talk, and I'm sure y'all want to puke, but that's what we live. We can't get into all that, Evan. We just can't, and that's what we got you guys for. Y'all are going to bring all that up for us. We don't have to worry about it. Y'all are going to take care of all that for us, and it's fun. We understand y'all have a job to do. We don't take it personal. We really don't. I tease people all the time. They'll ask me, "What were you thinking when you made that call?" And like when it didn't work, what were you thinking? I'm like, everything y'all are saying in y'all's head, I'm saying to myself, like, why in the heck did you do that? God, that was stupid. So it's just part of the game, Evan. I appreciate you having a little bit of fun there with me on that. But we know we got stuff to fix. And we're not hiding from that. But it's not like we don't know and we're not trying to fix it. Our kids get it. But I'm going to tell you, and I've said it a million times, I've coached forever. I've never coached a perfect game. But you can always give perfect effort. And I think that's the story of our team so far. Look how many different players have stepped up. Were y'all expecting Jamal Liggins to step up as a true freshman, have 19 tackles? Brennan Dingle, have y'all even heard of him? And he comes in here just fantastic. Chuck Wiley stepping up. Josh Atkins stepping up. So many different kids we hadn't even heard of that just keep stepping up each week. Peter Gray with the cast on. Trevor Harmonson, how about the hands play on onside kick? Ask Texas Tech how they feel right now about their hands team right now. They're sick. If they make that play, Texas Tech wins the ball game. So there's a lot of things we can focus on to get better at. But here's what I would challenge all of us to do, and I challenge my coaches the same way. Let's work just as hard trying to catch a kid doing something right as we do catching a kid doing something wrong. And we had a lot of right Friday night as well.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
JJ.
Jeff, you're the first coach in program history to start out 3-0. Does that mean anything to you?
Oh, heck, it's a heck better than the alternative. We could also be 0-3 right now. Every game was right down to the end, fourth quarter. But this is about my players, JJ. I mean, they have bought into us since day one, and I will be forever grateful for that. And it's been tough. And you know what these kids have been through, and they've never blinked. They've never blinked. And we were a 7-point dog at Texas State, and we're a 19-point dog this weekend. So I bet we don't blink again this week. I bet we'll go out there and get after them. And we don't ever talk about winning and losing around here. We just talk about being the very best we can be today. And I know y'all get tired of hearing win the day, but we're going to try to be the very best we can be today. And we're going to get up and try to do that again tomorrow. And if you keep stacking great days on top of great days, you're going to have a great program. And we plan on doing that.
What's your culture pillar this weekend? How does that message get translated to the team?
Well, I'm a simple fella, JJ. I've got my fingers. We just keep going right in order. So we're on the thumb this week, which is perfect effort. So our kids will be pointing at their chest a lot this week, and it's not about perfect execution. It's about perfect effort, and they've done that for us so far, and I expect them to do that again Saturday.
Hey, Greg.
Jeff, you mentioned being a big underdog heading into this weekend. Is that something that you talk to the players about, or how do you address that within the team?
Yeah, because I'm always trying to get a great practice out of them, Greg. Whatever that is, I just want to win the day. I want to be the very best we can be at practice that day. That's how you're going to play well on Saturday. To get the things cleaned up, that we've got to get cleaned up, we've got to be better at practice. Practice makes permanent. Perfect practice makes perfect. So, yeah, I'm going to poke the bear and jab out. I'm going to have fun. We're going to put it up all over. We're going to – but why? So we'll play better. Not like it's some kind of Newt Rockney speech or some Grant Tapp motivational speech. It's just I want them to play better in practice. And the better we practice, the better we're going to play. So, yes, we will use that, but not like some win one for the Gipper. More of let's just see if I can challenge my O-line, get a little pissed off. Excuse me. Can we erase that, Kyle? Can I get my O-line frustrated enough to practice harder? And, man, I can't believe I did that. Is that going to be going to get me in trouble or something? Can we erase that, Kyle? Urinated,
Yeah.
would that have been a better word? Gosh. It's one of those blooper moments, Kyle.
I can't speak for the other guys. I think I'll let you get away with it. That's not as bad as it could have been.
I hope not, man. Cut me some slack there. That's that East Texas coming out at me. Evan, don't butcher me, Evan.
You're good, man. You're good.
While we got you here, I want to ask about Jamal Ligon too. Obviously, set the program single game tackle record. But I'm curious, when he came into the program, did you expect that he could make this kind of impact as a freshman?
Yes, sir, we did. We had some pretty good inside information on that kid. You know, my brother was his high school coach. I've been knowing Jamal, seems like his entire life. What's more amazing than the 19 tackles, Greg, is that kid played 93 snaps. That's got to be one, it lets you know what was wrong with our defense. They were out there too long. And that's on the offense. That's on us. And we really take great pride in playing team football. You know, that triangle of toughness we talk about all the time, it starts with being very physical on defense. But then the very next part of that triangle is being able to run the football, which we did not do well. And then the third leg of the triangle, obviously, is our special teams, which showed up. We had 221 yards of hidden yardage in special teams, 221. And all we do to figure that is our net punt versus their net punt, our net kickoff versus their net kickoff. And just on net punt, we had a 49-yard net punt. They had a 38.5, which means we beat them by about 10 and a half yards a punt. And there were, I'm looking at the stats right now, there were 12 punts in the game. So we picked up 126 yards in the punt game. On kickoff, our net, we started, let me make sure I get this right if y'all don't want to misspeak. Our kickoff, we started on the 31. They started on the 24. So we beat them by about 7.5 yards on every kickoff. There's 13 kickoffs in the game. So we picked up 96 more yards on the kickoff team. So if you add 96 yards on kickoff plus 126 on punt, we picked up 221 yards in the punt game, in the kickoff game. Does that make sense? Not even talking about extra points. We also blocked a field goal, extra point. We also recovered a hands. So our teams, if you were to go through each game and give an MVP, in the first game, you'd probably say the offense. In the second game, you'd probably say the defense. And the third game, you'd say the special teams. So we have played team football this year. We're just ready for all three phases to show up at one time. And then you'll see our best performance.
And you mentioned for Ligon playing those 93 snaps, he mentioned when he talked to us after the game that the speed of the game is the challenge for him. Are you surprised, given that it's a faster environment compared to what he's used to in high school, that he's able to hold up for that long?
Well, I think y'all could tell in his interview, he's different. You know what I mean? How he handled y'all. I mean, he's just extremely high IQ, comes from really good people, great program. You can tell he's been in front of the media before. He's just different. He's extremely sharp. Kids love him. I still don't know why he likes to wear that number 88, but he loves that 88. And he's a heck of a kid. And when you recruit enough kids like him, you become a really smart coach really fast.
Well, he played defensive line the last 2 years as well, from what I was reading in his bio, at least. Is that a transition phase that he had to go through to be at the level he's at now?
Well, my brother really wanted me to recruit him as a tight end when he was younger because he loved him so much. I said, Kurt, I'm afraid he's too short. He's not tall enough to be a tight end at the next level. I think you need to move to defense. So the kid, because he is a college football player, no doubt. So for once in my life, my little brother listened to me and actually moved him to defense, and he ended up playing outside linebacker. Well, when you got a kid like Jamal and you're a high school coach, you just put him wherever you can to win the ball game. And sometimes those kids get punished in their recruiting because they get moved around so much. They don't have a real position, Greg. We just knew the kid was a winner, and we were going to take him, make him an outside linebacker, inside linebacker. We recruited him as an outside linebacker, and he just stood out in fall camp, so we moved him inside. Heck of a move by Coach Nix.
Okay, anything else for Coach Traylor? All right, thanks everyone.
Sorry about the urination comment, man. God bless. Birds up.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate you.
See y'all, man.
Nice shirt.